Today we are looking at some of the instruments of destruction that come underneath the transport category on the workshop, as this is going to be one neglected category by the creators, and there's some good stuff here. This being the first one that we want to look at. This is by Power Converter, and I've just got it stuck on the side, and it's called Luke's Land Speeder. For anybody who doesn't know, Luke is actually the name of the developer of the game, and Power Converter has made him this sweet little thing. Now, I don't know much about Star Wars, but I kind of have a feeling that this is probably a vehicle that represents or resembles something off of the Star Wars stuff. Could be well off with that, but it's pretty quick. Now, it's worth noting most of the vehicles that we're going to look at today don't actually have destructive capabilities. They're there as transport and transport only, so don't worry about too much smashing into buildings. But having said that, we're on a map where transport is key in the campaign, so it's a pretty big space thing, so I thought it'd be a great place to just check out a few of these things. Now, this is pretty quick and it's pretty good. I don't seem to be able to flip it over and roll it over too much, and there's nothing too technical about it either. Now, I did see if we could skim it, and unfortunately, as you see, the water physics in this game aren't like water physics as such, so unfortunately we can't skim this like a stone. Like I was hoping you might be able to just skim it like a stone across the top of the water, but as you saw, as soon as we hit the water, it's game over for us. But the actual craft itself is pretty solid. Easy to control, a lot of fun actually, nothing too crazy on the controls. You can absolutely go bananas with it, have a lot of fun with it, and it's simple, nice, easy build. Now, this is Doom Buggy Mark II by Zombie Ninja. Again, pretty simple thing. Rockets to help us with that little bit of extra go-go. Well, now, what I do like about this is most things that have rockets on always start to want to roll over or flip over or cause a bit of a headache. This very well balanced. It doesn't really want to do that. You get the extra boost from the rockets, but it doesn't try and flip itself out or do anything crazy. One thing I do love with this machine is its suspension though. It's independently suspended on the four corners, but it's not like it's straight onto the wheel, so it seems to have a little bit more travel to it. Whether or not that's just my mind getting confused with stuff or whether that's what's actually happening. But if you look, it's actually suspended on blocks that are then connected to the wheels rather than straight to the wheel. It does have that plow on the front, so if we really wanted to, we could go full send into a building and we'll get a little bit of damage. And I must admit that this thing is really simple to control, really smooth actually. Drives really well balanced, and it's actually pretty good. Really nice little machine. So what I like about this is, like, you can see it on this map so much. It's all the little bumps and stuff that are in the terrain. They're just soaked up by that suspension. The wheels are always stuck on the ground and it's just constantly going. It shows you just how active that suspension is, bouncing around everywhere. Love it. This is a very interesting machine. It's called Rover on Trailer by Gravedigger. And as you see, the Rover itself is what has the actual cab. The main machine that tows this trailer doesn't have any cab. It's more like an autonomous device that's used to tow us around. Go up the terrain pretty well, it's pretty strong, goes where it needs to go, can do what it needs to do. And awesomely enough, this trailer obviously has some swivels on it, so we can actually get to somewhere where we need to be, lower those swivels down, and then we can back the Rover off and we can go for a little drive and get up to no good. As you see, we do have two cannons on the front of this. You know, they're all right at doing what they need to do. It's nothing overpowered, nothing amazing. What I like about this is no overdrives or anything. It's not like beefed up beyond belief. It's just a nice, simple thing. What I enjoy about these things is the creativity behind it all. Like, you can see the creator's mind, what they wanted to do. They wanted to build a little trailer that could just carry a little destructive vehicle around. It's not the way that everybody wants to play the game, don't get me wrong, but sometimes some of us just get bored of using big magnets to just break all the buildings down. We want to have a little bit more of creativity in the mindset, like have the mind play a game in a bigger way. Maybe not how others like to see it, but things like this I really like. Just adds that extra little something to a game where you could just tear around, and it just shows off what the game's capabilities are. There are some games out there that even if you just did this, it'd be too much for the game to handle and it'd start to lag out and go crazy. This is really cool. Now, this is something substantial. This is by Turbojack Flash, and it's a road train. And I don't know about anybody else, but I grew up a long time ago when it was nearly black and white. I'm a little bit younger than that, so it was actually colour. And if you went on holiday to a British beach, you would see something like this on a British beach, where you would get your family and you'd all cram inside one of these little trailers, and this little thing would just take you for a ride around the beach. That's how exciting life used to be a long time ago. And it really does bring back some memories of those things. This thing is full of nostalgia. It doesn't scream road train at me like the road trains that you see today, like the stuff that's on the actual road, but it does scream old school British beach holiday. Now what I like about this is we've got some lights, and those lights are in fact magnets, and we've got a smokestack. Now the fun thing is, if you put the magnets on and fire the smokestack up, obviously you do collect some weapons, which you can then hootle towards buildings and then unleash. Now, the only downside to this road train is it is a little bit slow, which is, you know, fair enough. It's got a big load, but it's also got pretty poor ground clearance. So if I try to get up the hill, I have to try and take it sideways on. And even then, I'm really struggling. Like, I'm fully accelerating now, and I'm pretty much ground to a halt. It is a battle to navigate through the terrain, unfortunately. I was hoping we'd be able to get somewhere, but it's okay for the flatlands, but I've got to be honest, it's not much good for anything else. Pretty much kind of like the actual beach transport that they used to be. It's good for the beach, take it anywhere else, you'd probably get it stuck anyway. I think it looks fantastic, and it looks like a memory. It really does, just looks like a memory. But yeah, in case you're wondering, we can open and close the doors to allow the people to get on and get off. Beautiful little vehicle. Now this is a small and sweet device. It is exactly what it is. This is Tiny Truck by Floppy Disk, and there is nothing more to it than what you see right here. It's literally like a tractor and trailer. It's getting itself a little load in there as well, so you just got a little bit of fun, and it's just all about the mind of the creator and just what fun they wanted to make out of the things that they could build. It's literally a tractor and trailer. There is nothing more to it than that, and it's just that mind. That's all it is. It's just the fun of, here's a game where you can build whatever your mind can think of, within limits, of course. And they've gone out there and they have built tractor and trailer. Again, it's a childhood memory. I used to have these kind of toys when I was a kid, and you just play it for hours and hours and hours with them. And it's just that nostalgia. It's so weird that it's just something that's so simple, but it is what it is. I would love to be able to have a tipping mechanism on the trailer, but with the swivels and stuff that this game has got, I'd probably end up bulking it out too much and it get too chunky and too big. This is nice and small. I mean, look at the size of it, really. Compare it to a tree or something. Nice and small. It's nice and dainty. It's made with all the 6-way blocks, and well, we know how big they are. It just works. It goes up and down the terrain, goes everywhere you need it to go. It's got no bells, no whistles, no thrills. It's simplicity at its finest, and I love that about this machine. It's not here to be something extraordinary and exuberant. It's here just to be a little bit of fun. Finally, onto probably my favorite vehicle currently in the transport category. This is by Sirenet's Rot, and it is literally flatbed lorry. I like this. It's a lorry cab and an independent flatbed as well. And they do hook up together. You can hook them up, and I will do that and I will show you. One criticism that I have for this though, the front wheels turn as do the rear wheels. The rear wheels are powered wheels. So if your brain thinks about reversing and you turn those front wheels in the direction that you think a reverse would work, you'll actually go the opposite way due to the tank style steering that happens with the rear wheels of this lorry cab. So it can get a little bit confusing. You have to kind of shut your brain off and think sort of one thing at a time, but once you line it up, you could just plonk right underneath. You remove the feet of that trailer, it hooks itself in, and you're able to just drive. Now, many games would have an absolute fit due to the friction around the connection of the trailer rubbing on top of the lorry, but this doesn't. This just goes so well. It works so well. It can go up and down the gradients of the land. It doesn't get tripped up by too much at all. That trailer stays connected. It's still clipped in. Drives you around everywhere, and you could just see this being loaded up with the shipping containers, or, you know, any sort of rubble, if you wanted to even go to that extent. And again, it's just the creativity of the mind of the things that you can make on this game. I love this. Genuinely, I love this. I think it's awesome. I would say maybe add a little bit more length between trailer base and the downwards, because obviously, you know, you turn and you do start to hit it on it and it rubs up against itself. But these are minor criticisms for something that I actually think is a quality. It's a pretty good little item. It is a real truck and flatbed, and it works, and it will go over anything, and it will go over anywhere. Doesn't bounce out, stays well connected. Once you've finished driving around where you get to, you can stop, you can lower those legs back down of the trailer, it lifts it out, and the cab is free to go. I genuinely enjoy this. I just thought I'd check out the transport tab in the workshop. I just think it's going to be a place where there's going to be a lot of fun creations. It's going to be overlooked by other creators. This is a place for the creative mind. This is the place where we're going to see some awesome vehicles. Cheers for watching, guys. Take it easy. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.